So something I've been thinking about doing for a while that I'm starting now is I want to do, well, I've been thinking about doing before run vlogs, and then I kind of realized right now that doing before and after would be best because I always think of things before the run and during the run that I want to talk about and then I forget to talk about and blah 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 blah. But I always have the most on my mind before a run. Running is very cleansing. It takes things off your mind. I have to keep telling myself a story over and over and over again during the run if I want to mention it after, and then I never mention it appropriately anyways. I always kind of rush right past it. The big thing on my mind right now, pre-run, is that I can't believe I'm so sucked into Riot Twitter right now, where the last couple of days I've spent more time on Twitter than ever before, just scrolling for Riot videos and Riot commentary. And I feel like it's gotten into my blood where I'm tenser than ever, and therefore running more aggressively than in the past. And this morning, a day off morning for me, I still got up at my usual time and I had coffee, and then I spent 4 hours on Twitter. And I eventually had a beer. Once I had a beer, I had to have a shot. That's the other thing that I wanted to mention, is that I always talk about how I've drank before a run, or you so often see me having a beer after a run. This is also a chronicle for my own sake and for history's, that where my drinking is at on any given day, which is not, fitness influencer 101. Anywho, I'm completely wound up. I'm extremely on edge from just Riot Twitter and the state of the world, and I'm invigorated by it, and I'm channeling that into my running and having long, strong runs. So hopefully today's the same. Now, from a running point of view, today is a long run. It's 16K. I'm gonna do it in my Ghosts. My Brooks Ghost 12s. They are laced with a heel lock. I don't switch that up in the conversation about the cats are fighting. Actually, they're doing parkour. In my Levitates, because no one watches these chronologically. In my Levitates, I'm alternating between a traditional lace and a heel lock, and I can't decide which I really prefer. In the Ghosts, I've gone to a heel lock, and I love it. And I always want to mention, and then never do, what I listen to on a run, because it's always on my mind, but then not worth mentioning after the run. So I read Jake Slichter's book, So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star. He was the drummer in Semisonic, for all you other 35-year-olds. And he wrote the most amazing, heartbreaking, well-told story of being a one-hit wonder band in the major label system, and it's a fantastic book. And it made me check out some other Semisonic besides Closing Time, which is the only one I'd ever heard. And I think in the wake of Closing Time, I saw their follow-up video and knew that it wasn't going to work, as I have with, back in the day of watching much music. This is getting long, I apologize. Back in the day of watching much music, I recognized one-hit wonders in real time and then saw their follow-up videos that weren't going to work. And it turns out the only reason they don't work is the major label system and radio corruption. Not even corruption, the system was built to be shitty, so it's excellent at what it does. Anywho, read So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star, listen to other Semisonic besides Closing Time, and then today, because of all the riots, I've spent the entire morning listening to aggressive synthwave. which is perfect as the soundtrack to an endless stream of riot footage and commentary, and inspired by I'm not entirely sure what. Oh, actually, of course, someone on Twitter quoted a System of a Down song off Toxicity. And so on this run, I'm going to listen to System of a Down's Toxicity and MDFMK's MDFMK, and just get into a 35-year-old man's mindset of what riot music is. Okay, I will follow this up after, and maybe never publish it because it already seems like it's a rambling bullshit video, and I should have had some breakfast. Part 2. That was... Can I do this? Sweet. That was 15.6K last time I checked. When I turned it off, Spotify always kind of adjusts. Yeah, 15.69 is what the distance is listed at now, with my pace being about 5 minutes. Okay, that's just a complete whiteout. 6 achievements. So the shirt was on at the start of the run. It was actually kind of damp. It actually rained at the start of the run, and then by the end, super bright out, super hot. Glad I actually timed that the way I did. I PR'd my 15, 10, and Glenmore Trail. So I should still be faster than that. In race season, my 10K PR is 40 something, I forget, but I want to say it's like 41. Maybe it's 45, I don't know. And for 15K, like my 15K time shouldn't be 13 minutes away from my half marathon time. So still pussy ass times, but these aren't race situations, and I'm not in race shape because I'm training every single day. Just training a ton, no rest, no tapering. But that's my day. And absolutely gotta say, let me just see if I can find my fastest KM here. 442? Yeah, 442 was my fastest K. And then my slowest K, since we're talking about it, 552, yeah. And it's the division you expect, actually, where like the fastest and slowest are in the middle. There's so much going on. One thing I thought about during the run that I think about a lot is it's so location specific, because I've started running, or I've fallen into running the same route every time, and I have this thought that I've never taken the time to blog about or express, but I always mean to, where some people think that running an unfamiliar route on a long run is going to make it exciting or interesting. It's actually going to make it really tedious. It's going to make it feel like you've been gone for a long time and you've gone far from home and it should be over sooner. If you want to get a good long run in, run a familiar route, and you can think and feel and take in the stimuli without feeling like you've been gone for a long time or you've gone far from home base, and you'll actually get in a lot of more comfortable miles that way. So I aimed for the familiar route, and I've been running the same route most of the time. From here through Mount Royal towards my parents' house in Central, and then on to Glenmore and down by the reservoir. and then just turning back at whatever the halfway point is. So I turned back at 8 kilometers today. Passed a lot of other good runners and a lot of pussy-ass cyclists who I am confident that I could take in a 3-on-1 fight. Now, hopefully, I will get sleepy and take a nap and not be groggy and shitty for later in the day when I'm supposed to have sushi with Jason. Talk about riots. And on the topic of music, MDFMK and Toxicity by System of a Down, great running albums.